Ben,
Hello, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, very good. My name's Sean. I'm your nursing assistant. I'd like to do some hand and nail care on you today. Would that be okay?
Of course.
All right, man. Check your ID bracelet. All right, Miss Teresa. I'm going to go wash my hands. If you need me, you have your call bell. Just give me a call. Okay? All right, now I'll step away and wash my hands using proper technique. And when I return, I'm going to go ahead and don my gloves. Anytime I don my gloves, I'm thinking about the resident's privacy. Miss Teresa, may I close your door for privacy?
Sure.
All right, terrific. And I also have quite a few supplies to gather here today. Just don these correctly and shut this door. All right. And I'm going to need a couple towels. Let's set our barrier up first on our overbed table. And I'm going to need a towel to protect her clothing so we don't get it very wet. Miss Teresa, may I set this towel in your lap?
Of course.
Okay. There you go. Thank you. All right. I'm also going to bring this really close to you. All right. I'm going to be sure we don't hit the resident's knees, and I have plenty of clearance there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and gather the rest of my supplies. You're going to be 4 washcloths, a napkin. Miss Teresa, may I go in your bedside table?
Sure.
Okay. I'm also going to need a wash basin, some soap, some lotion, and an emery board or an orange stick. In this case, I see an orange stick in her drawer. Okay, Miss Teresa. Would you like soap when I wash your hands today?
Yes, absolutely. That sounds good.
Okay, great. All right. All right, Miss Teresa, I need to go put water in your basin. So you have your call bell. If you need me, I'm not going to be far. Just give me a call.
All right.
All right, at this time, I'm going to go place warm water in this basin, no greater than 105 degrees Fahrenheit. So let me go ahead and do that now. Miss Teresa, would you check this water and see if that's a comfortable temperature for you?
That's nice.
Okay, great. All right. Go ahead and set up to do everything here. All right. Okay, Miss Teresa, what I'm going to do is soak your hand. I'm going to support her arm, her extremity, and go ahead and soak it here in the water for a little bit. I'm never going to let go of her elbow. I want to make sure she has a good amount of support there. A lot of people can't hold their arm up or their extremity up for that long. Okay, Miss Teresa, let's go ahead and remove that. I'm going to set her hand on the table. When I do that, I know that she has some support there on the table, so I can let go. I'm going to go ahead and form a mitten here and place a little soap because that was her preference to have soap. Now, a little trick on test day, and really in real life, don't use too much water in your basin or too much soap on your rag, okay? All right, Miss Teresa, you can leave your hand there. I'm just going to support it a little bit, and I'm going to gently wash her hand. Okay. And then I can use a different finger in between each one of her fingers. That's what's great about this mitten. You can use a different piece of the rag each time or the washcloth. All right, Miss Teresa. I'm going to go ahead and rinse her hand using the exact same technique. I'm going to form a mitten, and I have a clean wash rag. Now I applied the soap directly to my washcloth, so my water in the basin is clean for rinsing. Okay, I'm going to support her extremity now while I take it off this table again. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the soap the same way I washed it. I'm going to rinse it. All right, Miss Teresa. Okay, how's that feel?
Nice.
All right, let's go ahead and dry her hand. Again, I'm going to form a mitten. I'm going to dry it the same way. I have nice smooth edges, no hard edges there. And as I remove her extremity, I'm going to support it again very gently, making sure that she's comfortable, not in any discomfort. All right, Miss Teresa. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean under your nails, okay?
Okay.
I have a napkin here. I'm going to use the blunt end to clean under the nails, and I'm going to wipe the residue after each pass on the napkin. How are you doing, Miss Teresa?
Great.
Let me know if I hurt you at all or you have any pain or discomfort.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now, Miss Teresa, I'm going to file your nails, okay?
Okay.
I'm just trying to get any sharp edges off of her nails. And I'm using the file end of this orange stick. All right, now I'm going to get all the dust off of her nails here. And I'm going to apply some lotion. Miss Teresa, would you like some lotion on your hand?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, great. I like lotion too. Never apply it directly to the resident's hand. You're going to apply it to your gloves and spread it out and warm it up. And then as you raise her hand, you can support it and just give her some lotion right on her hands. Okay, if there's any residual lotion, I can dry it off. There does not appear to be. All right, how's that, Miss Teresa?
Great.
All right, well, I'm going to set your hand back in your lap.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to move this overbed table out the way. Now, always take care of the resident first. So, Miss Teresa, can I take this from you?
Sure.
Okay, you have your call bell. Are you comfortable?
I am.
Do you need anything else?
No.
All right, great. So I have my orange stick here and all my supplies. Now I'm going to go wash this basin. I'm going to actually dump all the contents into the bedside commode or the toilet. I'm going to rinse it from outside to in or clean to dirty. And I'm going to dry it from outside to in or clean to dirty. So let me go do that now. Okay, now we're going to demonstrate how to take care of a wash basin when you're done with its use. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, none of the contents of the wash basin ever go into the sink. So I'm going to use a barrier and raise the toilet seat of this bedside commode. Now that I've touched that bedside commode with it, I'm not going to use it as a barrier for anything. I'm going to carefully dump my water in there. Okay, I'm going to get this barrier and turn on my water. Now, it's very difficult to rinse this big basin in this little sink without touching it, so I'm going to use a napkin to help rinse it. Again, we're going to rinse from outside in, our cleanest point to dirtiest point, okay? So let's do that now. I'm going to really saturate my rag. Do your best not to touch the sink, but it's really difficult. Okay, I'm not going to make a career out of being down there. Alright, I'm just going to use this to swish some water around. Again, I'm going to dump it into the bedside commode, not the sink. I'm done with the water, so I'll turn that off. And let me go ahead and dry this. Again, I'm going to dry from the outside in, or cleanest point to dirtiest point. In the medical field, it's a good practice to always do things from the cleanest to the dirtiest. If you're going to touch something clean, do it first, okay? You don't want to drag anything dirty onto something clean, okay? I'm going to finish cleaning this inside point, this innermost point. I'm pretty happy with that. I want to make sure that I close this toilet lid, and now that I've touched this toilet lid, I'm not going to use this barrier any longer. Now I'm going to take a barrier back to open the door of the bedside dresser or table and place this bedpan back where I got it, or this wash basin back where I got it. Alright, let's do that now. Miss Teresa, can I go back in your bedside table?
Sure.
Alright. So I'm going to put all my supplies back where I found them. I have a barrier in my hand so I can open her bedside table here. And place her basin back right where I found it. And her soap and lotion back where I found it, and the orange dip. Alright, Miss Teresa. Miss Teresa, do you mind if I open your door as well?
No, not at all.
Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning up and open her door. Let me place this overbed table right back where I got it. Now I'm going to stop and do a post-procedure check. I see that she has her call bell in her hands. Everything is back where I found it. The door is open, so I'm going to deglove, go wash my hands, and come back and announce to the evaluator, end of skill.